Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our next podcast of heroes who should have their own movies.
Today we're looking at one of my personal favorites and very first superhero, Static.
He's your childhood.
Yes, that was the very first superhero show I ever watched. Way before Avengers, way before Justice League, way before Batman. That was the first show
Was
that
that before
introduced me.
Ben 10?
Yes,
Oh, awesome.
because I don't think Ben 10 came on until like 2005, I think. It went on a few years, so this was on before. This is when they still had WB Kids.
Okay. Awesome. And he's a standout superhero. And I remember one time you mentioned that a lot of characters who are minority characters, they always give them lightning powers. But amidst that group of superheroes that have the lightning power, Static Shock was definitely a standout.
Yes, and there were actually people, I actually didn't know this till way later, there used to be misconceptions that he was Black Lightning's son because they both had the powers. Like, no, it's just a coincidence. That's it. Okay. And that's was kind of like, it became like a joke. And I'm like, you sure it's not? No, it's not his kid.
And there should be a great familiarity with this character, not only because of the animated series, but because of all the amazing fan art that has been out for years online, as well as the comic books. And we own quite a few of these Static Shock comic books.
Yes, when they tried to do another lineup.
With his insertion into shows like Young Justice, Batman Beyond, and so forth, there should be a grand knowledge of Static Shock.
Yes.
So just in case not, tell us a little more about Static Shock.
Yes. So, a lot of people might know the origin from the animated series from WB Kids / Cartoon Network. He actually got the powers by accident, which seems to be a running thing for a lot of these superheroes. And it was meant to be sort of like a Spider-Man-esque story where he was accidentally involved with a street gang and he did not want to be part of it, but he didn't want to get hurt, so he ended up following through whatever they were doing. And then they were at some chemical plant stealing whatever cash they had lying around. Like, that's some bad security there. And when one of the chemical container got shot, it exploded, he was exposed to the chemical, and then the next day he woke up with electrical powers. And at the time they called them the ones who were exposed before metahumans or mutants became the term. They were called bang babies, and it's like, okay, you gotta change that now. Like, you can't call them that sounds like something else. So after that, it starts to become like with Spider-Man, where he gets his own little costume, figures out how he saved the day. And not everybody likes him at first because most of the people that have the powers use them to get what they want, to hurt other people, get revenge, or try to be, and then very few of them try to be better. So it took a while for him to be the Dakota City's hero because of the misconceptions of, let's say, metahumans.
And the character got a little slightly different storyline in the New 52, which I'm so glad the New 52 is gone so we can talk about it.
Yeah, it was the Flashpoint storyline, if you've seen the movie too.
Right. So, from what I understand, not only in talking to you, but reading online and talking to others, that not only was the series Static Shock groundbreaking, historical, and had one of the best writers and producers to have ever graced the comic book world, who is gone now, but that there were some firsts that also appeared in this television series.
Yes, and it ran for about 3 to 4 seasons. They had lots of cameos from other DC heroes like the Justice League. They had Batman and Robin, and they kind of switched styles because the BTAS series was done, right? BTAS series was done, and then they went to Justice League, so the designs were changed. They have Batman Beyond on there, which I couldn't believe. At the time, I didn't know what Batman Beyond was, so I didn't know who that was. I thought that was someone they threw in. And then started getting up appearing in other shows like Justice League Unlimited when they were in the future, and
which I all mentioned in the beginning.
And there was a lot. It's just that the show itself, again, just, don't want to get off track.
Right.
The show itself was really just stand out for everything that they had on the network or for cartoons in general. And there are still people that remember a lot of things that happened, like with the holiday episode where instead of focusing on the holiday itself, it's about helping others that were in times of need, especially around that season, or the one with the gun safety episode, which is one of the few times that it actually had an impact, and it wasn't like controversial or anything. It was just like, wow, this really just stayed with people after seeing it.
And this is also an earlier time for representation, because from what I didn't know until you told me, that his best friend Richie was also LGBTQ.
Yes.
And at that time, this just didn't happen on whether it was live action or animated series,
Right.
that such a paramount character, because he wasn't a minor character, he was a major character,
Right.
his best friend, revealed that they were gay.
Yes. And it wasn't revealed in the show, like you said, but you can kind of see a little bit of hints, because Richie doesn't seem to flirt with any of the girls at the school, and none of them flirt with him. So that was sort of a minor hint there, but they never really delved into it or made a big deal out of it. They were just he's still Richie, so
Exactly.
It was still Static Show, but you understood that. And it was like, okay.
Now, what was so great about this as well is a testament to Dwayne McDuffie, his wonderful writing style, his way of making every man appealing to everyone, and as he stated one time, not making them stand out as special, but letting their morals and just the way they are appeal to everyone, and letting everyone know that they too embody those characteristics. So tell me why you love Static Shock. We can go into why does this character not have his own television show, animated show, reboot, or theatrical movie.
Yes, and people are very, very confused about that, because we have seen now lots of characters who were minor or didn't get enough spotlight are now getting their own series, like with Swamp Thing and Constantine, The Legends of Tomorrow, the Doom Patrol. All these characters that were not considered big because they kept focusing on the main ones are now getting their own shows or their own movies on the DC Universe streaming service or on theaters. But Static, it's an anomaly because he's popular too, and nothing's been done. They keep saying, okay, we've been talking about giving him a series, we've been talking about giving him an animated movie, talking about this. Well, it's been years since the show went off. They've been saying, oh, they could possibly do a live action series with Jaden Smith as Static, who cannot play him now because he's way too old for the role.
Which, it's a lot of talk and no action. So
yeah.
What we'd like to know, DC, is why are you having the brakes on this character having any type of individual show or movie?
Yeah, they talk about it, but and they keep saying that they talk about it. There's been talks, but there are no plans. They don't do anything. Look how long it took for Vixen to get a little 30-minute special,
and then that got squashed.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that happened from the time the show came on, and there's been nothing. The closest thing we got was Electrogenesis, which was a fan-funded fan film, which shows Static as an adult and how he kind of goes back to being the superhero.
But that kind of veered off when the filmmaker chose to use violence as a way that Static Shock handled a situation which was uncharacteristic in how he was or has been as a character.
Right. And then after a little bit before that, it was a shock when he was featuring Young Justice Invasion, which was the second series.
Yes.
And he was voiced by Bryton James, and I couldn't believe it. Like, oh my gosh, it's Static! And it was a really big shock because like, you haven't seen him in years. And of course, yeah, it would be time to update because it took place in late 90s.
Right.
Even though it came out in 2000s, but you knew it took place in like the last year of the 90s. So.
Unless they do a period movie like they've done Captain Marvel. Her story's taking place in an earlier period.
Right.
And that would be fine as a first movie or even as a first show.
Right.
And then when it comes back, let's say the second season, you could do like Young Justice and have like a 5-year jump or 10-year jump or something.
Yeah.
Bring them up to the current time.
Right.
But it's just beyond comprehension why this character hasn't gotten any love for a series, animated or live action or a movie. So again, I bring up Black Panther and Marvel. You need to take this as a cue that this character really needs a movie. You've got so many people online who signed petitions, who voiced that they want this character from all walks of life.
Yeah.
So it's not just a black thing or an Afro-American thing or a cultural thing. It is a pop culture anomaly that this character does not have his own show or movie.
Yeah, and I agree because clearly he has a following, so why not take advantage of that? You have 30 Batman movies, you got 30 Superman movies, you have 1 or 2 Wonder Woman movies, you get Justice League movies, you get villain movies. The villains get their own movies. You get a backstory. You get one where it's a steampunk, the 1920s, and the alternate universe. All of these exist, but you don't have time for a static movie. It's like, what's happening here?
So hopefully in the near future, this will be remedied, and we will hear not a rumor or of a start and then it goes to nowhere finish of either a live action series, an animated series, or a theatrical movie.
Or an animated movie in the DC animated universe that they have.
I just say. Who do you think would be your top choices for either voicing the animated character or playing live action? Let's do voice acting animated first. And it can't be Josh Keaton.
No. I could just have Phil Lamar do the voice again.
That would be great. But it seems to be now they like to have younger people voicing younger characters.
Yeah.
Since he is a younger character in his teens, whom do you think might be a good choice for voicing this character?
Okay. Kind of hard to tell because I think he's so iconic as Static. If you don't know him as Samurai Jack or other characters in the plethora of animation, that's the go-to one. Like I said, right now he's being voiced by Bryton James in the Young Justice series plus Outsiders, and hasn't
then
really
maybe just have him voice the animated series.
Yeah, since you're gonna do that, you might as well stick with him.
Keep the continuity.
Yeah.
Okay, how about live action Static?
Okay, well they chose at first, but they didn't know if they confirmed it or not. They chose Jaden Smith, which I really didn't agree with.
It was an odd choice because he doesn't look anything like Static, and again, part of the appeal was that this character was different from the time when it came out. And it was a bold statement in having a character that didn't look like every other superhero. So I think it would be in good standing to maintain that and have him look like the comic book character or the original animated series.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, Jaden's a great actor, as we know. We've seen him in other things. But as you say now, it doesn't matter. He's too old for the role. So, can we think of any actors that are younger actors that are in other series that would be good as a live action candidate? Maybe that's part of the problem too.
Yeah, we've seen lots of up and coming kids in many shows and movies who are now getting their own spin-offs or something. They got great careers, great actors, and they play their characters well. But no one really sticks out to say, oh, he could play this guy. He could play this guy. It's not like when you're casting Hero Academia or other shows and it's like, oh, wait, you can have someone who looks like him, or this person act like him once, you can do that. This one's a little harder to do. So maybe that's why it's taking a while, because they're waiting for one person that could fit, like with Tom Holland and Spider-Man. They went for one person that could portray the character perfectly, and he would become iconic for playing them, whether live action or animated, besides Phil Lamar.
Well, remember that Stan Lee was here to make that choice. Unfortunately, you don't have Dwayne McDuffie here to make that choice, so it's going to be tougher. But let's go to the last comment on this, where we had a false start and a rumor that he was going to be on the new Black Lightning series. So we watched and watched and watched, hoping he would make an appearance, and kept thinking, oh, don't let this character be it, don't let this character be it. Then we found out it was all just a rumor, maybe just created to get more viewership for the series.
Yeah, they would want to have him on there, or even the series in the Lightning verse, but so far they haven't done anything yet. Well, you kind of have it set up with the Cadmus thing, do like an Injustice, or they could just have him as his regular backstory. He's from Dakota, and he moves to this city for Black Lightning. So there's stuff they could do to introduce him in there. Just hurry up.
I hope when they do this, and we're gonna say when, they will keep the family dynamic. They will keep him as the conscious kid that he was, and it will keep him with the same wonderful personality and having a best friend that he could count on through thick and thin. Those are elements I hope they keep whenever they decide to give this character the standing that he deserves.
Yeah, because there are a lot of stories that could be fantastic movies. Yes. So let us know what you think in the comments below.
And if you watched the original Static Shock series and you're part of your childhood, let us know in the comments, as well as whom you think will make a great casting for him in the live action theatrical movie.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in tomorrow to see who the next hero that should have their own movie. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mama Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace and
put a shock to your system.
And reporters sitting flashing lights, trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. Met her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams, plucking sunlight from the sky.